There's a reason why two women with the same skill can experience totally different momentum. And it has nothing to do with effort. Hey, I'm Shayla Boyd-Gill, the Luxe Business Mentor and the creator of the Luxe Scaling System. If we've not connected already, make sure you do me a favor. Subscribe, like this video, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any future videos. So let's talk about the myth around this self-contained growth. I know in the early stages of your business, when you were first starting, you grew in independence. Maybe you got this way from buying courses. You were a part of small programs, but a lot of the work that you did to get to this point, you did it in isolation and it worked for you. And of course, the natural thought is that this will continue to work for me as I grow beyond six figures. Well, I have something a little bit different to share with you. See, your mid-stage growth requires some context that you may not be familiar with when it comes to the early stage of your business. Your mid-stage growth is a new zone for you. And that expectation of knowing everything and being able to do it all on your own, it has to shift. The key is your leadership is shaped in relationship. So when you were being solo dolo, it worked. It was cool. But at a certain point in your business, you have to start establishing relationships that will help to move you in the direction that you desire to go. Because imagine trying to grow something that you've never seen before. You don't know what you'll experience on that growth path. It would be so much easier to have the relationship with people who can share the knowledge with you and help you to understand that what you're doing is normal. The thing that you'll learn over time is that you don't develop your discernment in isolation. So let's talk about what the right room actually provides for you. Number one, it gives you language for what you're currently experiencing. So many times when you get to six figures, you find yourself kind of going in circles and you're starting to wonder, is it me? Am I doing something wrong? Is this supposed to happen? You don't have the language around that growth experience that you're having. And so you start questioning every aspect of your business and of yourself because you're not clear. No one's ever given you the language that you will need when you grow and scale a business. The right room will also provide normalization of complexity. So things do get complex. When you're doing things in the early stage, you usually have simple step-by-step paths to get you to where you're going. But as you grow and scale, it's not linear. Things start, there are ups and downs that come along with it. Things do get complex. Relationships may get complex. The complexity of dealing with clients or dealing with teams or dealing with projects, those things occur and you need a room that can understand that situation. The right room will also provide faster clarity through context. We've been talking about context a lot lately in the past videos. So if you look up here, one of these areas up here, you'll see links to the video before this where we talked about context and advice. That right room will provide that clarity around the context. We spoke about context being the history, the data, the things that you've done, the things that have worked, the things that have not worked. But the difference is it's not just your story. There are other stories of people that are where you are or have been where you are. So this is going to be super important for you. In addition, the right room provides an expanded vision without pressure. See, when you're not in the right room, those that are around you may not be able to understand where you want to go, nor can they provide that bigger vision for you. However, when you're in the right room, the people that you're aligning yourself with understand where you want to go. They understand the idea of a bigger vision, and many of them will understand because they've already done it or they're right there with you. So the right room absolutely matters. The truth is, the right room may not always provide the answers, but it will definitely help you to create the best questions that you need to be asking next on your growth path. So let's address the elephant. Why do women delay proximity? We know there's a fear of comparison. When you're in the right room, you may unexpectedly start comparing yourself to other people that are in that room. And that's not the place to do that, but it's just innate. It's something that we do. You start comparing yourself. So that fear of comparison comes up. Am I good enough? Why did they go faster than I was able to go? Did I do something wrong? You're looking at all of the components. But the real truth is, if you're in the right room, that comparison won't be necessary because you'll be fully supported where you are. And no one in that room should be making you feel like you're not enough. So that's why it's super important to align yourself with the right room. Another thing to consider is the fear of visibility. If you've been doing everything yourself, your head's down, you are just focused on just pushing out content, getting more things sent out, checking off things on your list. And you may have that issue of, I don't want to be seen because I'm seen, people will see all of me, or they'll see the flaws. They'll see the things I don't want them to see. But the real truth is, when you are growing and scaling, you need to be visible, but you get to determine what that visibility looks like. There's not one set way in which you can be visible. If someone's trying to sell you, this is the only way that you can be visible and grow and scale your business. Run as fast as you can. You get to choose your path of visibility and choose the way in which you want to be visible and the cadence of that. But the key is just to be consistent with whatever your choice is, and you decide what that looks like. No one else can decide that for you. Another issue is over responsibility. So when you're considering the right room, you may say, do I want to be aligned with these things? Am I going to have something else I have to be responsible for? I already have so much that I'm handling. Do I have time to nurture these relationships and friendships and connections that may be important to me in my business? So you have to prioritize and determine, how do you fit these things into the life that you want to live? And understanding also, when you refine it and you're talking about that proximity in the right room, you're not going to be in all the rooms. And so that issue of over responsibility gets smaller because you're only putting your energy where it's necessary. The biggest thing that I want you to consider is that myth of, I should be able to do it alone. We don't know who came up with the should-haves when it comes to business, but it never serves you properly. If you're stating, I should have been able to do this alone, that's just a way of punishing yourself because no one's told you that but yourself. There's no law. There's no rule. It's not written in a book anywhere. There's no one out here saying you should be doing all things alone. That's a story that you've told yourself and a story that you've chosen to believe. So that's something that you have to decide no longer serves you. That's a story you have to release and understand it was never a truth for you. What I find for a lot of clients is isolation masquerades as self-reliance. This is not what self-reliance looks like. So if things are starting to feel a little bit harder for you as you're growing, I don't want you to ask yourself, what are you missing? I want you to ask yourself whether you're trying to solve a contextual problem alone. This is a longer conversation that I'm having this year about context, your rooms, and your leadership. This matters to you. Hope to talk to you soon.